Happy New Year and welcome to Round Robin. We are going to start the year by talking about how to make some changes, maybe not formal resolutions, but some changes in your life to live better this year. My guest is Healthy Families consultant Alvean Lyons. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much. It's a whole new year.
It is, and I think sometimes we make these rigid resolutions, which we break in the first week, and then we give up. We're done. Boom, that's
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. And we're like, we'll try this again next year.
Yeah, so how do we do this in a better way that has a better chance of success?
Well, what's really interesting is that we can learn a lot as adults from children. We don't realize just how smart they really are. And there's one thing that they do extraordinarily well that we're going to use sort of as our guide going into this year, and that's to play. Kids make time to be able to play, and for them, it is their opportunity to take care of themselves. They use play to refresh themselves, to get rid of the stress, and kids have stress too, you know, to kind of release some of that stress of their school responsibilities and mommy and daddy responsibilities and grandma expectations and all of that stuff that's all grown up and not fun. They use play to be able to take care of all of that. So if we use them sort of as our inspiration this year, let's think about some of the things that we could be doing to add a little play into our lives. So we're going to start first with P. While we're busy, we tend not to plug in ways that are meaningful and necessary. And I really mean plug in all kinds of aspects. We have a tendency that even when we are with our partners, my body is with you, but my mind is working on 10 other things that I need to do right now.
Yep.
And we're having a conversation and you're sharing with me what's important to you. And I'm nodding because I've been trained well, and I look engaged because I've been trained well.
But I'm looking at the dirty dishes behind you that I need to get up and fix.
Absolutely. And I heard
that.
that ding on my wrist, so I know a text message just came in, an email that I didn't read, the list goes on and on. We are not present in those moments. And the worst people to do that with is with our children, because they can always feel it. It's amazing when you watch little kids running around in a room and they're like, mommy, look, or daddy, look. They don't want you to say, oh, nice job. Yeah, great job, son. They want to see your eyes. And part of the reason they want to see your eyes is they want to be sure you are here with me. You are present in this moment. And if I can't see your eyes, I don't know that you're really with me. Well, if we take that same idea in terms of being able to plug in our world, we need to bring our eyes to who it is that we're talking to and make sure that our thoughts are with that person as well. So we need to really work on plugging in at another level than we have been doing, because if we do the same thing, we're going to get the same results. And we want better results this year. It's a fresh year. Whatever mistakes we've made before, those have already happened. We don't have to do those same things going forward. So I want us to plug in.
All right.
So then we move to L, letting go. Now that's easier said than done. And I totally admit that. But if we sit back and just think about what didn't work for us in 2016. Now, I don't want you to stay there in a negative space, but I want you to think about this in terms of productivity. If I really look at what relationships were not healthy for me this year, because we all have those relationships that we really might need to kind of shift the level of importance in our lives, the amount of time we might spend in those relationships. What relationships were really important to me that I didn't invest in this year? Because sometimes letting go is letting go of our agenda, the agenda that may be interrupting the things that are really valuable. So letting go is not always about what you're going to stop doing. Sometimes it's about the thing that we should be doing, that there's something that's interfering with that. So I want you to let go of the thing that's interfering with what we should be doing. So how we let go in our lives can mean multiple things, but we've got to figure out what's not working for us. Because if we continue to do what's not working for us, we're going to continue to get those very same results. And I repeat that because we have a tendency to expect different results from the same actions, and that is just ludicrous.
So give me some more examples, because I'm having trouble understanding letting go.
Okay, so let's say, for instance, that I'm working on trying to convince someone in my life of what it is that I'm doing and why it's valuable and why I should be on this path in my life and why I do need to have this relationship with these people. And you can't seem to convince them of that thing. You can't seem to get them to understand life from your perspective. And you've been spending a ridiculous amount of time working on trying to change someone else's mind. You need to let go of that. You are not going to change the way somebody else views what's going on in your world, and it's costing you trying to change them. Sometimes it's just the dynamics that are existing that are taking unnecessary energy, and it's really causing stress in our own worlds. Let go of that thing. Sometimes it's an issue if somebody hurts you, and you've been holding on to that hurt so long that you can't even turn away from that thing to open yourself up to the next good thing that is possible in your life. We can't let bitter be the enemy of better. And it happens all the time. But when we are consumed with what happened to me, then there's no way that we can move on to everything else in our lives. So when we're letting go, there are multiple ways in which we might need to let go. Let go of the distractions from the things we should be doing, let go of some of the relationships we may need to, let go of some of the bad habits that may be existing, let go of perspectives that may be negative that aren't helping us grow, let go of the fight we have with ourselves on the inside.
Some of the expectations that we
Absolutely. You are not ever going to be 6 feet tall and a basketball player. Let go of it. You know, like there are just some things we need to let go of. I'm never going to be a size 00. Let go of it. You know, just embrace where you are now. Be the healthiest version of you that you can be. So let go of the things that aren't serving you well.
Gotcha.
So that you could open the door to new things that could be serving you so much better. So there's so many things and so many ways in which we can do that. Then I want you to take action that is positive. I want you to take a positive approach to the things that you're going to do. We can't control what other people do, but we have complete control over what we do. How we act is a complete display of who we are as a person. You can't say to people that I'm a great person, but you're doing mean things to people all the time. You know, like there's got to be congruence between how you want to be perceived and how you are acting. And many of us want to expand the relationships that we have in our lives. We want to expand the opportunities that come our way. We want to expand the positive energy that is moving back and forth in our worlds. But it really all starts with us. You have to change you in order to get different kinds of outcomes. So we've got to, if we want to attract more positivity, we have to be more positive ourselves. So we've got to choose different ways of thinking because your actions are just an extension of your thoughts. So if I choose more positive thoughts, I will likely choose more positive behaviors. So I need us to make a little bit of a shift where that's concerned.
Well, and I like that you focus on action because attitude is hard to see. It's hard to measure. It's like, what is that?
Right.
But action means to really put those things into motion.
Absolutely. And people don't always know what your intentions are.
Right.
But they do know what your actions are.
And they speak for themselves.
And yes, they do. Because, and we are judged by those. What's very interesting is we tend to judge people by their actions, but we want them to judge us by our intentions.
I really mean to be a better person.
Right. Right. It was really my intention, you know. But the reality is all I have is your action to figure out who you really are as a person. So if you want me to see the good in you, then do good things. So we can't expect something beyond what we're capable of ourselves because when we judge other people, we're judging actions also.
Right.
So we can't expect that just goes one way. So as we're going into this year to really add to the positivity, we need to be that positivity in the way we actually conduct ourselves, and that is in our actions. And then finally, why? I want you to say yes to yourself more often. It's amazing how much we say yes to other people and don't say yes to ourselves. There are things we know we need, and we constantly delay those. Sometimes it's a moment to shut down. Sometimes we need a moment to be able to relax. Sometimes we need to take a class because there are ways in which we need to grow. Sometimes it may be an opportunity to really build our faith, our positive behaviors, or whatever it may be. There are all kinds of things that are necessary in our lives that we have a tendency to say no to ourselves, but say yes to everybody else and their needs. And I need us to do a better job of saying yes to us first. And that's not to say that, particularly if you're a parent, it's not a selfish act for you to choose to grow for yourself. You're modeling for your children how they're supposed to take care of themselves when they become adults. If you starve your inner you, your child will starve their inner self as well because they have watched that model. Our kids learn so much more from what we do than they do from what we say. So we have to show them what it means to be both good to yourself and then by extension, good to others. So it's not selfish to do the right things for you so that you can be your best self for somebody else. So I really want you to say yes more to yourself and sometimes a few more no's to other people who want from you more than you really have to give right now. You are not a limitless resource. If there are not methods in which you are being poured into, you will run out of what you have for you to be able to pour out into others.
You know what I find helps, because I do have a hard time sometimes saying yes to myself, but if I can find a friend or a partner or somebody that I enjoy spending time with who wants to do the same thing,
Right.
and walking is a great example.
Right.
You know, even if it's the dog.
Right.
Sometimes I'm not doing it for me because I don't deserve it or I'm too busy or I would put me aside, but I can't do that if there's another
Absolutely.
person or if the dog is, you know, in my face saying it's time, it's time, it's time.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a, I mean, I know I should be able to say yes to myself, but sometimes it is hard. So you can ease that by, you know, creating a twofer there.
Oh, absolutely. And you're doing two wonderful things at the same time because in adding that accountability partner, because that's really what you're speaking
It is,
to.
you're right.
And sometimes our animals are our accountability partners because they're up at 7 and they're like, come on, I got to go to the bathroom.
Here's my leash.
Right, let's do this, right?
It's right here at the
So
back door.
there's wonderful things that happen from having just someone or
Right.
something that is pushing you to do a little bit more for you, even when you don't realize the benefit that's associated. And then simultaneously, if you're talking about someone that you enjoy, then you're adding to the relationship. So you're also plugging in in beautiful ways while simultaneously taking care of yourself. So you're absolutely right. Having somebody who can do this with you is wonderful. We were not designed to be alone as humans. We were really meant for partnership. We're meant for companionship. And we do our best work a lot of times when we have somebody who's walking alongside us who shares a common vision or a common goal. And it's not the same person for all things.
No, that's the great thing is,
Yep.
you know, also when kids play, there's a creative
Yes.
environment there. And so I think about that in terms of this, you know, I'm very craftsy, I need an outlet, but to take some classes
Right.
and again, take somebody with you
Yes.
if it's what helps get me out the door, because, you
Yep.
know, it's a lot of fun to
It's
be
true.
creative and try new things or be a different person for a little while.
Indeed. And we're less likely to let down someone else than we are to let down ourselves.
And I know that I should.
Yep,
But, you
it's
know,
true.
this might help me get to that point.
It's true. It's true. So
Just
yeah.
like a resolution, it's not a hard and fast thing. It's not say yes all the time, or it's
Right.
not do this. It's how do you get yourself there? And maybe it
Absolutely.
takes the whole year. Maybe we're still
Absolutely.
working on it
Next year,
until
right?
the next year.
Right.
But it is an incremental thing, not an I will never do this. I will
Ever
always
again,
do this.
right? It's the small tweaks that we make in our lives that actually have the biggest impacts. Because when we make those small tweaks and they become part of who we are, little minor adjustments to who we are recalibrating our lives in a way that doesn't feel like the crash diet, doesn't feel like the high pressure new responsibility. It's just a new us. And before you know it, this becomes your new normal. So we are just saying, lean forward just a little bit more into the things that help you grow as a person, because that person becomes a better person. And whoever that person then is affects the people around them and in their lives in really positive ways. So you are actually giving a gift to others by being a better version of yourself. So yes, play. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. You are the best gift that anyone could have when you are your best self. And kids do it all the time. When they come back in from playing, they are generally happy and warm and excited because they've taken care of them and they've had the chance to be able to commune with other people. So we've got to learn a little bit from our kids. They do have something there.
Great ideas. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, Robin.
And thank you for watching. I hope you have a happy and healthy year and that you take the time to play. Thanks for watching.